Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to our live sessions on virtual support for our OGSERA platform. Good afternoon. I'm Quincy Ademola, and with me I have Mr. Kindeyin Isiaka and Mr. Ojeremy Precious. Mr. Kindeyin, please say hello.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon once again. We are so excited to get started today. So, hopefully, I'm just looking forward to a great session. Really, yeah. Thank you, Quincy.
Uh, all right, Precious. Hello, how are you doing? Please say hello to the house.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again this week and today. And we are here to serve you better. So enjoy as we move forward. Thank you.
All right. So, please, as we are going forward, we understand that we have so many questions that we want to ask. So, kindly drop them in the comment section because we are going to be picking each and every one of them and we are going to be answering. Hopefully, we get to answer everybody today. And we are going to be dropping updates for everybody. So, Mr. Heritage Multimedia Concept, it's so nice to see you here again today. Welcome, Mr. Lion Babajide. Good afternoon, sir. And please also share the link to our fellow tutors and our SPA so they can join us right now. So for today's session, Mr. Kindein,
Yes, Quincy.
we understand that we have so many updates to share with us. So please kindly have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Quincy. Yes, so a lot is going on currently. So picking from the last session that we had, we'll just quickly do a bit of recap around some of the key activities, some of the key challenges. While most of what we want to do today is to be able to respond to people's complaints and issues. So hopefully we are looking forward to questions, complaint issues, so we can be taking them one step at a time and respond to them. All right, so I might just want to give you a quick overview around what we are looking at today. All right, so we know that some of us are having issues with promoting students from previous term to this current term. So Mr. Precious will be doing a live demonstration for us around that. We would also be doing demonstration around students that are placed to my school for placement as a junior secondary school, how am I going to see those students that are placed to my school, and how am I going to be, placing them to the appropriate class? So we'll also do a live demonstration around that one as well. Then we might also be touching transfer. We all know that transfer, relocation, special placement, those applications are currently ongoing. So to your school, those students that transfer to your school, that are relocated to your school, so how do you see them as an SPA, and how are you going to be able to place them to the appropriate classes? So we'll also be, doing a live demonstration around all of that as well. Then we also hope to be able to, like I said, to be able to respond to all your issues and all your complaints around that. So those are some of the key issues that we really hope to that we're going to, solve today. And very importantly, we also want to respond to some of your questions around relocation, special placement, school transfer, and all of that. So we are really looking forward to the questions coming. So that's just like a brief overview around what we intend to do for today's session. So Mr. Precious will be starting off with the just a recap around how to place students appropriately into their class and those students that promote. So that's just what we can start with, Quincy.
Okay. So
All
that's nice. Mr.
right,
Precious, please.
everyone. All right. Thank you for that. So just I'm going to do a recap on how to move students to their next to the next section, to the next class. That is 2022-2023 first term. How are you going to move your promoted students to their various class arms in the present term? So, all right. So to go about that, I'm going to do a quick demo for us on it, just a short recap, and I'm going to be sharing my screen now so that we can all see and follow. A minute, please. A minute or so. I'm sorry. Please, you can see my screen. Type yes in the comment section. Please, Miss Weasley, please, can you
Not yet.
please
I
take
My
can't
screen
see
is
it.
not
take some
showing.
questions? My screen is not showing. A minute, please. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll be waiting for you, Mr. Precious. So while Mr. Precious is trying to get a system up and running, oh, Mr. Kinde also has left. So I'm going to be taking some few things also from my end. Um, we understand that currently we are doing placement, relocations, school transfers, and we can't. Some of these issues are coming up with the payment sections, and so please do well to drop via the remitter. I said remitter, sorry, via our help desk, which is helpdesk.edutams.net, or please do well to drop them on your various WhatsApp groups. We are going to be picking them up and we're also going to be answering them. Mr. Kenden, welcome back. Mr. Precious,
Yes,
welcome back.
welcome.
Yeah. Mr. Precious, are you ready for us, please?
All right, now I'm ready. Thank you for that. So please, our um wonderful teachers in the house. Please, if you can see my screen, type yes in the comment section, please. I'm waiting for our yes in the comment section. If you can see my screen, please type yes in the comment section. I'm waiting for our yes, please. Our teachers, please, are you with us?
I think I can see your screen from here, if that's fine.
Okay. Okay, but I need to be sure. Okay, okay, I just got a yes. So I think everybody can see my screen now. Right, so I'm going to do a very short demo on how to move your student to the next class and class arms. So please and please let us follow as I progress. All right. So I'm logged into a school now, and I log in as an HOS. I log in. I know we are all familiar to on how to log in as an HOS and how to log in as an SPA and how to log in as a teacher, either a class teacher or subject teacher. So there's no need to talk about that, how I got here. So please just it's the same procedure. Just log in through your HOS and email and password. Is it that the default password or the password you change to? Just log into your HOS. And I hope you all know by now that your broadsheet will only come up. The previous terms, that is last session broadsheet, will only come up only after you have appointed your HOS for this present term. So please, if you haven't appointed HOS for this present term, please, I will advise you to do so as an SPA before you log in or your HOS login, so that the broadsheet can come up this way. All right, thank you for that. So now let's go to work. Once you log in as uh HOS, you go the first thing you do straightforward is just go to your broadsheet straight up. You go to your all you want to do now is on your broadsheet. So you go to your broadsheet, you select by default the broadsheet will show first term this way. This is how your broadsheet will show because we've activated 2023, 2020, sorry, 2022, 2023 first term. But we want to work with third term broadsheet. You know, your students were promoted from third term to this first term, this session first term. So we are working with third term broadsheet. I said earlier, the last session we had, that you please be take note of these things. We are working with third term broadsheet. Then you select your program. In this case, I'm going to be working with primary two broadsheet for this school. I'm going to be working with primary two class broadsheet. So you select your program and you select your class. Then you go to the main broadsheet. All right. So and once you are on the broadsheet, you scroll to the right hand corner of the broadsheet where you have your HOS and class teacher comments. You move to that side. Then you you see the icon for recommendation, position, promotion action, and next class. So, all right, for the what we want to work with on this broadsheet now is the next class column. The next class column. So, I selected primary two broadsheet for all schools. Once we are working with your primary two students will be promoting to primary three. So primary three will only will show here on this icon here. It's primary three. If I choose primary one broadsheet for example now, I don't think primary one student have been worked on. So let me do press. If I assuming primary one student have been promoted and they've been worked on, you will see primary two here. Primary two is what to come. So primary two now, yeah, primary two. So I'm working with primary two student now. So all right. So the promoters, and please take note that it is only the promoted student that you can be able to place to the next class arms. The repeated students or the repeaters will remain in their present class. So there's no need to post anything for them. So then all you need to do now, we are working with primary three, and in this school, for example, now we're having three arms in primary three. You're having three arms. So you select the arms you want each student to be placed in. So for this student now, let me work with just three students because of our time. We have Folani, Taiwo, and Gold. Folani, Taiwo, and Gold. So let me paste them into Prem 3B. Prem 3B. After, okay, I said just three students, all right. So you see, these three students, now Folani, Taiwo, and Folani, Taiwo, and Gold. You see their name here. I've choose Prem 3 for them. Let me choose Prem 3B for the third one, right? I chose Prem 3 for the three of these students. After selecting the class arms you want them to be placed in this way, all you need to do now immediately is to post recommendation. All you need to do immediately is just post recommendation after selecting the arms this way. So now I've selected the arms and post recommendation. Now after doing this, the next thing you need to do to know that your student have been moved to the present term and to the class arm you paste them to, all you need to do is go to your learners class registration. This is where you are going to know whether they've been moved or not. So go to learners class registration. We are in present term. The present term will come up by default. Then I posted them to Premi 3B. So I'm going to look for them in Premi 3B now. Premi 3B. All right. I hope you can all see this now. So the three students that I placed, if you could remember their name very well, I said Folani, Taiwo, and Good. You see the only three students in this class now. So this is just the simplest way to do this thing, and it is very easy. If you see now, this thing does not take us up to 10 minutes. It is very easy and very very easy to navigate through. So all you need to do is just log in as a HOS, select the class, select third term broadsheet. You are working with third term broadsheet. Select the program and class, then select the arms you want them to be pasted to. After selecting the arms, post recommendation immediately. The ones now, let me show us something on the broadsheet first. Now, let me show it on something on the broadsheet before I hand over the meeting to the next person in charge. We are working with Premi 2. Now, you see that I moved them to Premi 3B. These three students, Folani, Taiwo, and Good. I moved them to Premi 3B. But after I left and came back to the broadsheet, it has changed to Premi 3A on third term broadsheet. Like I said during the last session we had, I said we should not mind this. We are not working with this again. So we are just using this to paste them to their various class. Don't mind it for now. So just all you need to do is just go to your class registration for first term and see them in the classes you pasted them to. So please don't mind this. And when you are doing your when you are moving your students, the ones that are to remain in primary three that you want them to be in primary 3A are in the A arm of the next class. Let me use that English. The ones that you want them to be in the A class of the next of the present term. That is, I posted these three students to primary 3B. But in case you want this child to remain in primary 3A, all you need to do is just to leave this and paste the remaining student that we want a different arm for. I don't know if you understand this. That what I'm trying to say in a simple way, in the simplest English I can say now is any student that you want to be in the A arm of the next class. That is, for example, now this is primary 2, but you want this first child to be in primary 3A. Maybe the child was in primary 2A, so you now want him to follow that trend. You want him to be in primary 3A for this present term also. So all you need to do is just don't touch it, don't select B or C for the child. Just go ahead with the remaining ones that you want them to be in B and C. And after you post the recommendation, this child will remain in primary 3A and the other ones will go to their various arms and they will be removed from A. So they will be removed from A to B or C that you paste them. So please just this the way to go about how to place students to their press to first term and to various class arms. So thank you for having me. God bless. All right, Miss Chrisley and
Thank you.
Mr. Akinleye, yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Precious. Thank you so much for that knowledge you've passed across, and we are so glad to share in your wealth of knowledge. So thank you also once more, Mr.
All
Kidei.
right.
So while Precious was taking his session, people were already dropping questions. So I just want to quickly chip this in. Please kindly drop your questions in the comment section. We are going to be having a question and answer section where we are going to be picking up all of these questions and we are going to be attending to them all. Also, please use this moment to kindly subscribe to our channel so you get updates and you get notified of every update that is coming up and you do not slack up on the informations that are coming in. So kindly do well by clicking the notification bell and also subscribing to this channel. Also, Mr. Ben, are you ready for us, please?
Yes, sure, sure. I am. I am. Thank you so much, Queensley. Yeah. Just let me know when I can get started.
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
All right. Thank you, Queensley, and thank you, Precious. All right. So, like we said earlier, so part of what would also be taking us through today is that okay, we know we've done placement of student coming from primary school to GSS1, right? That placement has been done, right? But for those schools that are receiving, so how are you going to see students that are placed to your school, and how are you also going to be able to place them to appropriate class arm? So just very brief, not too much process. So we might just want to quickly do that process right now, how you will be able to place students appropriately to their class and you'll be able to do this as the SPA of the school. Okay, so just a sec while I quickly do this. Okay, all right. So once I'm the SPA of my school, where there's a place where you can see the placement list, right? By the side module, you see the option of enrollment, right? So if you click on enrollment, you see learners placement and my school placement, right? So my school placement is displaying all the list of students that has been placed to your school, right? So this is what the page looks like, for example. So this analytics here gives an overview around the total number of people, male and female, right? And you'll be able to see all the list of students that have been, placed to your school. So here it displays the name of the school the child is coming from. So what you are doing as the SPA is that once you receive the school, confirm it, and you'll be able to place the student appropriately to their class app. So the major thing that you are doing on this page is to check the list of the students that have been placed to your school, right, and be able to place them to their class app. Please note, this is just for placement. There's a place for transfer, relocation, and others. Okay. So if you want to place the student to their class app, you will notice that each student have an action, right? There's a menu box for each of the students, right? So if you click on it, you see the option of add to class. So that is where you'll be adding students. So the page displays just the brief history of the details of the child. Then from here, you'll be able to add the child to class. You can see that you're only seeing GSS1 because placement was only done for that GSS1. So it's going to be displaying the available class arms, GSS1 class arms that you have in your school. So whichever of the classes that you are placing that child to, just select the class and click on add to class, right? Once you have done that, you see that for students that you have add to class, you see it's displaying their respective classes here. Okay, so that is just how you'll be placing students to class for GSS1. Very simple. Once you log in as your SPA page, you come to enrollment page, learners placement, and school placement. So that will display all what the page looks like for you. So from there, you can use the menu box for each of the child and be able to place them appropriately to the various classes. And please note, you're only placing them to the various GSS1 class that you have in your school. So that is just majorly how you'll be able to place newly admitted students to your GSS1 class. Okay. So there are also the other part around school transfer. So how about students that apply to transfer to your school, or student that did relocation, or student that did special placement? So where are you going to see them, and also how are you also going to be able to place them to the appropriate class? You will also be able to do this as the SPA of that school. Meanwhile, before I go to that section, please, if you have questions, comment, any feedback that you'd like to ask us, please remember to make use of the comment section. Drop your questions and complaints. We'll be able to provide live feedback to all of these issues that you have around that area. So let's go straight to how you'll be able to view students that are placed to your school, or students that are transferred, or students that did special placement, and how you'll be able to place them to class. Okay. So for the other one, you see that under enrollment, you also have the module called learner transfer. All right. If you click on learner transfer, it's going to see admin report. So what you are doing in the admin report for learner transfer is that it's going to see you have those that applied to school transfer to your school. You see that there's also relocation. You also see that there's also special placement. So you'll be seeing those details around there. If it is for school transfer now, right, once you receive students that they said they did school transfer to your school, they have to come with their form and approval from the ministry, right? So you are now checking your school here to see whether the details of the applicant is here. Like this is school transfer for example now, right? It display all the students that has applied for transfer for my school, right? And you see the status. Like this status now is still pending. If you click on this action box, you can only view the applicant results, but you can't do anything. You will only be able to place those that have been approved to class am, right? So it is the ministry that are doing the approve. The necessary body of the Ministry of Education are doing the approval. What you are just doing from your own end is to see whether the application has been approved or pending. So if it has been approved, if the student come with their printout form and letter from the ministry, you are just going to be placing them to the available class arms. So if you click here now, you see add to class arm. You can also double check the applicant results before also admitting them to the various class arms that are there. So once you click on add to class, right, it will display the details. Then you can click on add to class to add the student appropriately to the various class arm for your school. So that is for school transfer. Even though it's for special placement or relocation, once the applicant comes with their printout form, you check whether it is relocation, whether it is special placement, whether it is school transfer. You will only be able to place those that have been approved to class arm, right? Even though you notice that those that are still pending, it means that they've not been approved yet. All right. So once they are approved, you can receive them and place them appropriately to the respective class that you have in your school. So that is majorly what you are doing around this learners transfer. Is a place where you are going to receive students that did transfer to your school, students that did relocation, or students that did special placement. And please note, relocation and special placement is only meant for GSS1 classes, right? So you will notice that if I want to add, okay, we are currently on special placement. If I want to add to class now, let's try that, right? It's only displaying GSS1 class because which is a location and special placement is only available for GSS1. It's only school transfer that you'll be able to add to class from GSS2, SS1, SS2, and SS2. And GSS3 and SS1 requires additional letter from the ministry. So you can follow up with the ZE or the necessary body of the ministry to confirm the details that are needed to admit GSS3 and SS1 students before admitting them. But just so you know, relocation and special placement are definitely for students that are only class available for that is GSS1, while school transfer is for the other classes. So very importantly, as well, school transfer is also available for those of us that are in the primary section. Maybe students that transfer from primary 3 to primary 4 or primary 3 to another primary school. Okay, so if I'm also the SP of the primary school, you come to school transfer, it will display all the available applicants. Then you'll be able to place them appropriately to their respective class arms. So that is just majorly around whether it is transfer, whether it is placement. How as a SPA you'll be able to view them, and also you'll be able to add them to class appropriately. So that's just a very summary around it. One thing which we have also done is that we have made demo videos. Maybe after this video, just ensure you check our YouTube channel. We are going to share the videos on the various YouTube channels so you can pick them from there, and also check through them, and they can be helpful as you go through all of these activities. So that is just majorly around it. So please, if you have questions, comments, please endeavor to drop them in the various comment or chat section, and we will be glad to respond to all your questions. Thank you very much. So I think we can take questions before coming back to the other areas that we have, if that's fine.
Okay. So, thank you so much for explaining the different steps and how we can also take our students into that. So I'm going to begin up some questions here. We have some questions, and so this is a question from Mr. Dawood Bello. He said, okay, put manager icon on the SPA dashboard. So you understand that there was an upgrade, there was an update rather. So he's saying kindly put manage teachers icon on the SPA dashboard. What do you have to say to that, sir?
Yeah, we noticed that we've been receiving a lot of complaint around that, so that teachers manual teacher icon is not currently showing, right? And yes, we know. All right, so maybe I should just give a brief around this, right? Major reason for taking it off was that some SPAs are trying to add teachers and edit teachers.
Mr. King,
Meanwhile,
are
SPAs
you
are not
there?
supposed to. Yes. Meanwhile, SPAs are not supposed to add teachers, right? It is the relevant body from the ministry that will add teacher, even teacher transfer, right? It is the relevant bodies in the ministry that will transfer teachers to your school. Your own is just to receive the teacher if the teacher has been transferred. Once teacher is transferred, you'll be able to see them in your school profile and be able to place them appropriately. So that's why the managed teacher was currently disapproved or disenabled for the SPAs for now. So for teachers that are being transferred from one school to the other, please contact the ministry. They would transfer you from their platform. Once they do the transfer, the teacher will be transferred from the previous school and placed into the new school with that single action. So you don't necessarily have to worry around, at least for now. So you can go on with the other activities that you have for now. So we start out video, and I'm sure most of us also have this question around we don't have access to manage teacher, all right? So it was removed or disabled for now. But because you can't add teacher, right? The ministry will add teachers. If there are people that are doing transfer, they will also do the transfer, and that would help sort all of those, teacher moving from one school to another.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for explaining that part to us. So we also have another question from Mr. Ayodele Ayonbim. Good afternoon. Please, how can we place new SS1 students coming from the junior school, not transfer students?
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Right. All right. So for placement of GSS3 to SS1, that is the Becker, right? You'll be placing them based on the Becker result. So before, like we said last week, before the end of this week, you're going to get update as to how you are going to place students from GSS3 to SS1. And those of us in SS1, how you will also be able to place them appropriately to whether science or humanities or the appropriate class that you have in your school. So before the end of this week, we are going to share the update as to how you can place the students to SS to junior school, and also how senior school can place them to the appropriate class. So just hold on around that before the end of this week. We are definitely going to share update around it. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for that. So this is a quick one. It says, how can we add transfer students to class arms?
Okay.
I think we've
Okay, good. I'm
answered
sure
this
I just
earlier.
did. I did a
Just
demonstration
just
around
did
that.
a very brief. Yeah.
Okay, I might not just do demonstration with that. So if you want to add transfer, okay, maybe I should just quickly do that. So to respond to Mr. Falayan's question. Okay. Let me just very, very brief, right? Share my screen. All right. So if you're adding transfer student as the SPA again, once you log in, you go to enrollment, right? Under enrollment, you see learners transfer. If you click on learner transfer, you see admin report. So under the admin report, you'll be able to see those that came through transfer, those that came through relocation, those that also came through special placement. Okay. So what you will be doing here is that the page will display all the list of the students for you, right? Those that are unapproved, you see their status, whether it is approved or pending. Those that are approved, you'll be able to place them to class. Those that are not, that are still pending, you can't place those ones to class yet. So it's just very simple and straightforward. Once you come to the learners enrollment, learners transfer admin report, you'll be able to see all of those details as appropriate, on that page. So I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
Okay. So also from Mr. Daud Bello, it said the name, obviously the school code is yet to be able to view results. Kindly help.
Yes, on this, right? So if you have done SPA approval, you've done HOS approval, and you are still unable to view results, that's because some subjects are still registered for those students that you have not uncleared or you have not removed, right? So I'm sure we've shared this update over and over, right? In that case, go to student registration, check the subject that are registered for those students, right? Remove the subject that they are not doing. There's also a button at the top. Let me see if I can briefly do a brief demonstration. So anyone that also have this kind of challenge would also be able to, solve it uh, as well. I hope I'm just able to quickly do this just very briefly. If my network is good enough. Okay, or majorly, one thing I think because of to save much of our time, right? So if in this case, Mr. Adao Dubele, right, there are some subjects that are still registered that the students are not doing. That's why the result is not showing. So if you go to the learners registration, subject registration, remove the subject that they are not doing, clear unregistered subjects, and also check trade subject as well. Once those two conditions are met, you'll be able to view the student results. One other thing that I would also try and do maybe is to make a video around this, how you can, solve these issues, and we can also share that as well in the subsequent videos that will be dropping. So please do ensure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get the notification once the video drop, and you'll be able to quickly solve that area from there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So I have a question. It says, please, we cannot log in as class teacher or HOS again, and I can't even appoint HOS.
Yeah, Mr. Precious, do you want to take this?
Please, we cannot log in as class teacher or HOS again. I can't even appoint HOS. All right, for the first two, this thing he said you can't log in as a class teacher. That means your SPA, you have not been appointed as a class teacher by your SPA. So the SPA should please do the necessary allocation for that. And HOS again, and same thing with HOS. For this aspect that you said you can't appoint HOS, I don't know why. What is the error message you are receiving when you try to appoint HOS? And please take note, when you want to appoint HOS, after selecting the person's name, you will see display name at the front of that name. There is a column for display name. That place you have to indicate if the person is a principal or HM, that is headmaster or headmistress, under that display name. If you don't feed that, you won't be able to appoint HOS. So please make sure you feed that box. Is the person the principal? After selecting the name, is the person the principal or HM? You put principal or HM there, and you click on save. All right. So thank you. I think I'm clear on that.
Yes, you
I
are,
think that
sir.
maybe to quickly respond to
Thank
that
you.
question, it could also be your network sometimes, right? So try to clear your browser history, then we try it again if it's not going through. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So from Samuel Fadipe, can we still promote learners on trial now?
Well, I think that for that, you might just need to follow up with the maybe the curriculum department for feedback on that. You know, they are the one that will give feedback around what criteria would be used to promote students on trial, right? So
All right, so Mr. Onshile John is saying hello to us and well done to the facilitators. So thank you so much,
thank
Mr.
you.
Onshile John. We really appreciate it. So
Yeah.
still from Mr. Daud Bello, he says learner's placement displays no record as
Okay.
at this moment.
Yeah, that it will display the record if what learner's placement depends whether you are junior secondary or primary school, right? For junior secondary, it's going to display all the list of students that have been placed to your school. So I don't know if Mr. Daudubelu could further, add more clarification whether it's a junior secondary or senior secondary, right? But once you're on the learner's placement page, if your school is a junior secondary school, right, and students are placed to your school just as one, it's going to display all the list of students. Maybe sometimes at the top, try to select the session, okay, because sometimes the session could not load properly. So try to select the session, and then that could load the student. So, Mr. Dowd, you might want to try it now and see. Let us know if it works, right? If it doesn't, so or you can share more update around what you exactly mean that learner's placement is not showing because that page is only displaying students that have applied for placement to your school, and that is where you'll be placing them appropriately to their class app. So, like I said, try to select the session at the top. Okay, that should be very helpful for that. But if it doesn't, please use the chat section, and we'll be glad to help you out with it.
All right, so this is Miss Akin. This is Akin Sholesi. So
Should
she's from Oxford International High School, Kenya. I couldn't
Mhm.
log in to access our Becker results.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay. Maybe I might also need to add. Thank you so much, Ms. Sholesi, for putting on this question. Right. Any complaint around assessing your Becker result? Maybe your Becker result is not showing, or any of that. We usually employ you to follow up with your zonal education officer. Right. They would give you the appropriate things that you're supposed to do and what you're not doing at the appropriate time. Right. But also, just to respond to your question, it depends whether your school is okay. With this school, I think that's most likely a private school, right? So if it's a private school are meant to check assess their Becker result, not from OGSERA now this time, but from your MOS portal, right? So Ms. Sholesi or Sholesi, yeah, you have your MOS portal for your school. So logging through your MOS portal, you'll be able to access your Becker result from your MOS portal. All right. So very brief. It is expected that all private schools have onboarded their students, their learners appropriately on the MOS portal. It's also expected that you have generated your learner ID and you have also synced to OGSERA on your MOS portal. Right. Once you have generated, you have onboarded your school, your learners, you have generated learner ID, you have also synced to OGSERA. Right, that's when you'll be able to access your Becker result. Maybe we could also add this for the sake of private schools that might also be joining us or that are viewing these videos. For private schools, you'll be accessing your Becker result once again from your MOEST portal. So it is expected that you have onboarded your school on the MOEST portal. One, add your learners. Two, generate your learner ID. Three, and you have also synced learner
So
ID to OGSERA. Four. Right. Once you have met all those four conditions, right, there's a module on that page, assess Becker results, where you'll be able to assess your student Becker results. So, Ms. Sholesi, try to do this, right? If you are here to set up your MOS portal, please reach out to your zonal education officer, right, for the procedures as to how you'll be able to set up your get onboarded on the MOES portal so you can access your result. But please note, if you're a private school, you are not accessing Becker result on OGSERA. You are accessing your school Becker results from your MOES portal. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to be fusing some questions together since we've taken them. So Mr. Heritage question: how can we move GSS3 to SS1? Is placement only for GSS1? What of primary one?
Good. So
Let's proceed.
awesome. What of primary one, right? So maybe what I could do in that case, I will also do a short demonstration for primary one, right? So placement for GSS one, we've talked about it, right? Placement is not only for GSS one. Placement is also for primary one for schools that are in for the primary schools, right? We know primary school there's admission into nursery, KG, nursery, and primary one. So I might just quickly do a bit of demonstration around how primary school will be able to place students to class. Those are students that did not do transfer, but they did admission, right? So how you be able to add students to KG, nursery, and also primary one. So let me just quickly see if I can make a demonstration around that right now. Let me see if I can share my screen. So for those of us that are primary school, how we are going to be able to place students that are admitted to entry class, KG, nursery, and also GSS1. So I'm just trying to share my screen right now so I can do that. Okay. All right. So this is my screen. As the SPA for primary school, once we have students that have been admitted, okay, once we have students that have been admitted to our schools, to the entry classes, please note you can only add students to KG, nursery, and primary one. Admission to any other classes like primary two, three, four, five would have to go through the school transfer. So if I'm the SP of the school and the student has come, we have admitted the students. So how am I going to place them to class? All right. So if you come to profile management, manage student, and the page open, so there's an action button where you are just adding them. Once you have received the student to your primary school, you are just adding them to the various classes that you have. So if you click on add students, right, you'll be able to add the student details, fill the student details, select the program, whether nursery and primary, right? Say primary now, for example. Once you choose primary class, it's only going to be displaying primary one because you can only add to KG, nursery, and primary, right? And for the primary, the school that you can add to is just primary one, right? So you can't add to any other classes. So the class that you are seeing here will be displaying appropriate class arm that you have for your school. So that is how those of us in the primary school will be able to place students that are admitted to class. You are just adding them appropriately. And to do that once again, come to your profile management, manage students, and you'll be able to add them to class. Please note once again, with this admission, you only be able to place students to the entry class, which is KG, nursery, and primary one. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Fadipe, and for any other person that might also have this question around this as well. Yep.
Okay. So Mr. Heritage was asking about how can we move GSS3 to SS1? So if you could just give a brief answer while we move quickly to the next
Yeah, I think
questions.
that we have answered that question. We've said that that's from Becker, right? Because Becker result is currently ongoing. So before the end of this week, we are going to share feedback around how you'll be able to place GSS3 student to SS1, right? So just hold on around that before the end of this week. You should get feedback around it.
Okay, so before we take this question, I just really want to apologize to Mrs. Shulesi. We apologize for the difficulties you were going through. I've reached out to you and I hope we can actually work together to sort it out. So, Mr. Onsile John has a question. Oh, Mr. Isiaka is off. So, Mr. Precious or Jeremy, can you kindly help him out? So, Mr. Onsile John said his KG learners were promoted, but the class they promoted to has not displayed, which is nursery one. What can he do?
All right. I think Mr. Akiten talked about placement into primary one and nursery classes.
Backstage.
Okay. Second.
Yes, yes, please.
All right. I think you talked about placement into primary one and nursery classes
KG.
some minutes
Yes,
ago. Please, can
yes.
you? This man is asking a question around that. Please, can you?
My KG learners were promoted, but the class they promoted to has not displayed, which is nursery one. What can I do? All right, so just I think we've seen this complaint too earlier this week, right? So
Yeah.
on this, just hold on. Maybe we are going to check through, and before the end of this week too, we noticed that some of us that are in the primary school promoting students from KG to nursery one is not displaying nursery class for you on the broadsheet to place them to class app. So just hold on. It's a bug that we have identified, and before the end of this week as well, it's going to be fixed, and we're going to share the update as appropriate so that you can place the student to their respective class apps. So, Mr. Onishile John, I hope that answers your question.
Okay. So from Mr. Olalekon, okay. Good day to you all. Please, when will the activation of transfer teachers be done?
Yeah, also, once again, I think we've said something around that, that for teacher transfer, right? Just reach out to your ZEU and the ministry. They are the one that would handle the transfer, and they will just be doing the transfer from their end. Once they do it from their end, the teacher will be transferred, will be moved from your school to the appropriate school that he or she is transferred to. Okay, so SPAs will not be doing anything around, moving teachers, or they are just receiving them, right? Once the necessary body in the ministry initiate the teacher transfer. It's going to move the teacher from school A to school B that the teacher has been transferred to, right? So as a SPA, you can just confirm the teacher's details on your page, then assign subject or classes as appropriate at your own end. So Mr. Lally Konake and to every one of us, right? So SPAs, you won't be doing anything around teacher transfer. You are just receiving this time around. So for teachers that have been transferred, just reach out to your ZDU, LGs, ZDUs or ministry, right? So they can initiate the transfer. Once they've initiated the transfer, everything will be solved as appropriately around that. So I hope that answers the questions.
All right. All right. Before you move on, Mr. Olalekon, or Mrs. Olalekon, sorry. Please, I hope you heard what Mr. Aguden said, and please help pass this information around to other teachers and other SPAs, and we are also going to try to share a general message on all the platforms, on all the groups concerning this, because I got to know that transfer was done almost across the state or the local government in the state. So please, you won't be able to do transfer again. So you have to pass it to your ZU and ministry. And please help us pass the information around, and tell everybody to check their WhatsApp platform, the WhatsApp groups, and for the information. We're going to drop an update on that. So thank you very much for that. Sorry for cutting
Awesome.
you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. So, Mrs. Daud Bello, I want to apologize for what I did by calling you Mr. So, in the light of this, would you mind
Oh,
if I just go through directly? I can identify agendas, so I'm very sorry. So, if you won't mind, I will in the light of this, I'll be going directly by calling our names. That is about that. So Daud Bello SM is as she's still on this report card. So I think we have done demos around report cards and we are going to be dropping videos.
No, sorry, please. Wait. Can I talk? This school code now, Mr. or Mrs. Dauda Bello. Can you send the class now? The class that is affected now. Let me check the up now.
yes, maybe that can be
Okay.
helpful. I think so. Yeah.
So I hope that will be helpful. So Daud Bello, please
So
do well by
send in the
sending
class that
your
is
class.
affected, please.
So we'll treated. So while that is going on, I would be moving. Oh, I won't be able to take Olale Konke's question because we've answered it. That is for the teacher, many teachers profile. Yes, it was intentionally deactivated and disabled. So that is for the ministry to be able to work on it. So please do not be angry, but it is just for our own good and for the process to move smoothly and seamlessly. So we also have another question by Egbe Sokwe. We've answered this question also. How can we move learners to the next class? So also, please, if you feel your questions were not answered, Please note those questions have been answered before. You can kindly come back and rewatch them so we can answer other questions and not waste our time. So we apologize once more. Akin Sholesi, for the private school, please do well to reach. Please do well to. I've answered you privately, so please follow the steps I'd already sent to you. So we also have questions on we have questions on okay, so
Yeah.
on relocations. So we are trying to pick up all of our questions and attend to them. So we'll try as much as possible. So Daud Bello said, in a situation where by an applicant makes mistakes during application, e.g. transfer instead of relocation, I'm guessing she's saying what can we do
Yeah.
or what is the
Yeah.
solution?
Yeah, so Mrs. Dowd really once again. Apologies for the mix up in the in the name, right? So in this case, just for now, best bet for now is just to follow up with the ZDO or the ministry, right? So we're currently, because we have more issues, more requests around people that have that kind of issues or mistake, right? So once it is fixed, it will be done from the ministry. I think the best thing that you can do for now is just to ensure you notify the ministry about it, whether the ZD or the ministry, so they can keep tab of it. So once that feature is released, they can help you to make that changes. Or on the other hand, go ahead to just go and reapply for relocation as appropriately, right? So because I can't really tell how long that's going to take, right? But something that we're trying to see how we can quickly make that option available, that whoever is at approving at the ministry head can make provision for that. But that might take a longer time, right? So if you can just go ahead to proceed to just reapplying for relocation separately, that might be another option that you might want to quickly look into. So just so you don't waste your time before the application closes. Yeah.
So Folashade Jimo said online class is showing on the dashboard. Please help. I think you have to explain what dashboard, what are you trying to say, and how we can help you. So please try to explain your question so we can all flow along with it. So please rephrase the question. Shodi Afumilayo, hello and well done. Thank you very much, Ma. We really appreciate the encouragement. So we still have questions by Olusegun Pelu. I still I am still unable to access some results. I also have issues on transfer of learners from one class to another. Our primary five learners were placed in one arm of the class of primary six.
Yeah, I think for that question, for the last part, Mr. Olusegun Operi, right, we just did a demonstration around that, right? That it is from the HOS page. That was what demonstration Mr. Precious did earlier on. It is from the HOS page, from the broadsheet, that you'll be able to place the student appropriately to the class arm. So for this primary five students that are placed into just one primary six class, and you have maybe ABC of primary six, go to your broadsheet, and please note you only be able to do this from the HOS account, like Mr. Precious shared. Ensure that you have first done HOS allocation for first term. So the HOS will log in, go to the broadsheet, select totem, right? And from there, the various class arm that you want the student to be placed into, it is at their front. So you can select it. Then there's a button at the top which is post recommendation. Let me see if I can just quickly run to just display that page. Hopefully, maybe that might be helpful for this case now. And for the sake of those that are also just joining. Okay. So if you go to your broadsheet, right, remember that you only be able to do this from the HOS account, right? Select the totem, right? For instance, now primary five, right? So those primary five that you have selected, select the class that, in your case, primary five, right? So you will see that by their classes here, you can select the class that you want to, the various class that you want them to be. Once that is done, on the HOS account, you see post recommendation button at the top. So it is after you have clicked the post recommendation button at the top, that is when the student will now be placed appropriately to their class for primary six. So Mr. Okweli, you'll be doing that from your broadsheet, and you also be able to do that from your broadsheet, and it is the HOS that can do that. So hopefully that answers your question. Then on the question of I'm still unable to access the learner's results, we talked about that. If you're unable to access results, that is because some subject are registered that the student did not probably did or they didn't do exam for. We'll share videos as to how you can do that
All
as
right,
well.
Mr. Akideyin.
Yes, please. Okay.
Please, Miss Christy, look at the go down, scroll down on the comment section. The last two messages. Mrs.
So that we
Dausta
just
send
don't
it last.
mix them. There are lots of questions, right? So we can just be taking them one at a time like that.
Okay. So as regards that, Mr. Kinden, this is another question by Governor Felix. How can I add learner to the previous term or session?
Well, this depends on I'm not sure I really get the questions correctly, right? How can I add a learner to the previous? But you can add if you're public school, for example, now you can add reach out to the ZD or the ministry if you want to add new students to the previous session. They would be able to guide you as appropriately because it is expected that all learners have been added. Or aside from those that are just coming up to the new to the entry classes, right? So if you want to add new students, best bet advice is to first reach out to the ZDU or the ministry about it so they can give you the procedure as to how you can, because there are some certain conditions that they also check before adding students, so they can tell you what to add students to how best you can go about it.
Okay. So from Adepeju Awolola Oba, well done, man, sirs. Please, we can't print Becker results.
Yeah, so
So I
thank you
think
very much. It depends. All right. So it depends whether your school is a private school or public school, right? So if it's a public school, we said that public schools are assessing their Becker result by logging in with their learner ID on the OGSERA platform, and you can print their results from them. For private school, you have to meet some certain conditions like set by the ministry. One of them is that before you can check your Becker results, you have to ensure that your school has been onboarded on the MOS portal, right? Like again, once again, you have to also ensure that you've added your student on your school MOS portal. Number three, you have to ensure that you have generated learner ID. Number four, you have to ensure that you have synced learner's ID to OGSERA on your MOS portal. Once you have, if you're a private school, once you have made those four criteria, right, you'll be able to go ahead to assess your student Becker results. But for public school, students are just logging in with their learner ID, right? Learner ID and default password. Once they've logged in, you'll see the invite exam module, then you can access their Becker results from there. So I think if I hope that answers your question. If it does not, please just throw further clarifications or
okay.
questions on the comment section.
Sorry about that. I think Adepeju Awolola Oba is from a public school. So I think probably from the section she's from the angle she's coming in is probably the payment. So probably the payment. So please use your check status and of course your Becker result. You'll be able to print your Becker result. So if you've made payment and it hasn't been notified, just kindly use your check status in the transaction history. As soon as it's approved, you are going to be able to print your Becker result. So to the next question.
Sorry, before you
Akin
move,
Sholesi.
are you there?
Sorry, please. Oh yes, please. Yes, sir.
All right, I want to attend to this Mrs. Rauda Bilu issue.
We
Well,
said we
let's
are
take
going
it
to
one step
attend
at
to
a
it
time so that
later.
we don't miss out
So
on
please just
questions.
get ready and we'll take it,
All right.
please. Okay.
Uh,
So Akin Sholesi, how can we generate student ID? That is from the private school. I know she's from a private school. How can we
All right.
generate student
Learner
learner
ID.
ID?
All right, so that's very essential. First, like I said once again, is first if you're in private school, I think the best bet that you can do is to ensure that you have followed up with your zonal education officer, right? So they can give you the procedure for setting up your school or for onboarding, right? Once you have onboarded on the MOS platform, you have added your student. There's a module OGSERA on your school MOS portal that you will see generate learner ID. It's just a button that you will click that will generate learner ID for students in your school, right? So just I think the first thing you might need to do if you have not onboarded your school on the MOS platform is first reach out to your ZDO so they can give you the procedure as to how you can get your school onboarded. Then you can proceed to generating your school learner ID from there. Yeah. And
Okay.
if you want any
So,
other clarification, you can just follow us or reach out to us again. But best bet is just reach out to your ZDO. They can give you the right procedures as to how to quickly get started.
so from Olajuwon Oluwakemi, please can we take a new pupils in primary six? And what is the process?
Right, well, I think for that one, you just follow up with the ZDO too or the ministry, right? What I know is that you for primary school, you only be able to admit students to KG, nursery, and primary one. Every other sections will be using the school transfer. School transfer is available for primary two, three, four, five. I'm not so sure whether it's available for primary six, which is why I said that follow up with your ZD or the ministry around that one. But they will be applying, right, as this SP of your school. You are only going to the learners transfer, those that have applied for your school, and see, and also um, you will only be able to place those that have been admitted to admitted right by the ministry to class. So hoping that will solve that issue.
Okay. So we hope to answer all of our questions quickly. So from Adela Jemilat, we have how can I move primary one to primary two?
Yeah, I think we'll solve that later on. Like you'll be able to do that from the broadsheet, right? Just go to your broadsheet, primary one, select in the broadsheet. Please note you'll only be able to do that from the HOS account, right? Let the HOS login, go to broadsheet, select by the student name, select the available class that you want to move them to, then post recommendation. So just watch out. Ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, right? So by the end of this video, or even you can even drop it on the chat section so we can pick it up from there. We're going to share
It
videos
has
on
been
how you
dropped.
can do all of this as well.
Okay. So thank you for that. Miss okay, Abodunde Adubi, your question is related to the question Mr. Precious is going to be answering soon. So please kindly wait and you would also get the tips in order for you to be able to solve your issues. So Daud Bello, we've noted your question and Precious is going to be taking it soon. From Heritage. Okay, heritage. Okay, well done, amiable facilitators. More grace. I always enjoy how you always simplify your question. Thank you so much, Heritage Multimedia Concepts. We really appreciate the encouragement. So, sorry, we're trying to move forward. Teresa Ogunlaja, well done, Saz and Maz. Please, why are we having more than the selected names in their class where they were placed?
Okay. I think this is also an issue with the broadsheet, right? Placing the student appropriately, right? If you notice before, right, towards the end of that last time when you did promotional result, right, you just promoted the student. You didn't select which of the class arms that you want the student to be in for the new term, right? So in most cases, it moves all the students to just one single arm for the next class, right? So that is why you have to go and place them appropriately. So for students that promote now, Ubunlaja Teresa, right? So go to the broadsheet, let the HOS login, go to the broadsheet, right? So those that are promoted, they have a class icon at their front where you can select which of the class arm that you want to promote them to. Once you select the available class arms that you want to place the student to, and you click on post recommendation button, which is at the top, right? So that would help to place the student appropriately, and that would help to solve all the students being placed just in one single class arm. So that is just the quick fix that you can do to that one, and you'll be able to do it per class. So it's quite simple and straightforward as well. Yeah.
Okay. So another question from Egbeti Mitope. Okay. Well done, Saz. Please, if someone mistakenly deleted one name from broadsheet, how can we retrieve the name back?
Okay. Precious, do you want to take this?
All right. If he said mistakenly delete one name from broadsheet. Which broadsheet? That is not possible on broadsheet. There's no way you can delete any name from broadsheet. So please, explain your question better, madam, Mr. Egbe Temitope. Sorry, please. It is not possible for you. You can't delete a student from a broadsheet. Broadsheet is not meant for that kind of a thing. So please, let us know what the main issue is. Thank you.
So
Okay.
from Rashidat Matilukoro. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. Good afternoon, sir. The GSS1 student names did not appear on the managed students, but the SS1 students' names are still in junior school. I think that's too
Okay,
much.
let me get a view of that question very well. This one student name did not appear on the managed student, but SS1 student's name are still in junior school. Well, just as one name, just as one, if you mean the student that are just placed to your school, right? They are not going to appear because you have not placed them to class ham yet, right? So in this case, that's why we did that demonstration around how you be able to place students that are placed to just as one in your school to appropriate class ham. So it is only when you have placed them class arm that you are going to be showing in your managed student or your class registration, right? And to do that, just go to on your SPA page, learners enrollment, learners placement, my placement. It's going to display all the list of students in your school, all the list of students that are placed to your school, right? You can use the action button beside them to place them appropriately to their class arm. Once you have done that, you will see them on your student registration page and also on your managed students page. So that should help to sort that. But the SS1 are still in junior school. So I'm guessing your school is a combined school, right? So SS1 will still be in GSS3 because the module to move them to SS1 has not been activated yet. And we have said that hold on that one for now. Before the end of this week, you're going to get we're going to share feedback as to procedures as to how you'll be able to move GSS3 to SS1 and also how you'll be able to place them appropriately. So, Ms. Rashidat, what you do for the GSS1 is go to your place, your school placement list, and go and place them appropriately to their class. Meanwhile, for the GSS3, in this case, you might hold on before the end of this week till we share further details as to the procedure for that process. So I hope that answers your question. If it does not, please remember to use the comment or chat section. We'll be glad to take it further.
Okay, so I think for now we are done with those questions. So we'll be
Woo!
taking
Seriously,
the one for
that's
Dawood
nice.
Bello. Precious, please, you have the floor now. Precious, please unmute your mic.
Sorry, and thank you for that. I said I just hope Mrs. Dauda Bello is still online with us. So please, if you are still online, Mrs. Dauda, type yes in the comment section. And if you are not, please, I just I just pray you watch this video on YouTube again. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now to show you what I discovered on the school or in the school portal. Sorry for that. So allow me to share my screen, please. So I hope everyone can see my screen now. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, yes, I can.
So this is the school now. I'm logged in as an SPA. As you can see, this Dauda Bello here. These are new here. So and these are school. All right. What I discovered is that she said JSS1 and JSS2 result are not the same. All right. Look at the error that is here, everyone. I want us to clear this issue of report card not showing once and for all. All right. If you see this report card now, sorry, this butter, sorry, porter, sorry. I'm in third term JSS1A class subject registration. Look at the column for IRS and CRS. This is IRS, Islamic Religious Studies, and this is CRS, Christian Religious Studies. Now, look at Samad Bukola Hafiz, the first student, the first learner. This person, the SP registered IRS for this learner, but failed to upload scores for this subject. If I unpick this thing now, you see that it is successful. It is successful because no score have been uploaded. As you can see now, this the register sign. This is because no scores have been uploaded for this learner, and in this case the report card will not show for any of the learners at all. Not for any of the learners though, for this learner in particular. Now look at, let me scroll down now and show you some things. This is IRS, this is ERS column now. Look at this now. The SPA registered for number 10 students, Opeyemi Ayomide Adebisi. The SP of this school registered both IRS and CRS for this learner. And in this case, I believe no student is offering both IRS and CRS. If I uncheck this thing now, you see that look at CRS now. This was able to unregister successfully because she registered CRS and IRS but failed to upload scores for CRS. So this is where the issue is. Everyone, please, if you are facing this issue, it means there is a subject you registered for the student but you haven't upload scores for. Now let me go to another class now for you to see. Let me go to JS1B. You discover this error that almost all the students in other classes have CRS and IRS registered for them. Look at JS1B for example now. See IRS and CRS. These two subjects are registered for all the students in this class. All. And it is not possible for all the students to be offering both IRS and CRS together. So in this case, you upload score for a subject while you not upload score. Maybe you upload score for IRS, but you fail to upload score for CRS. You upload score for CRS, fail to upload score for IRS. In this case, no report card will be able to show this way. So you have to go back, unregister the ones that are not offering either of the subjects. After registering the subject, you log in as the HOS, you disapprove and approve the broadsheet again, and your report card will come up. So please and please, if you are faced with this challenge, please endure. So make sure you fix this. Check well through your subject registration, and if everything in this under subject registration is intact, then you go to your trade subject registration and check as well. You don't check for subject registration alone. There's the column at the module for subject registration is different from trade subject registration. So you check for trade subject registration also. Let me check for trade subject registration. Sorry, please. Okay, this is not displayed because it's like that. The school is not offering any trade subjects for now. So there's no issue around trade subject registration. So, but please, this issue I just discovered and showed us now. Please and please, let's make sure you will go through it. Check your subject registration well. Check them well. Make sure there is no subject that you haven't upload score for. So please and please, that is where the issue. So Mrs. Dauda Bello, please do the needful, please. And let me also add something. In case you check through your subject registration and everything around this place, both subject registration and trade subject registration are correct, that means you register the subject, all the subject you registered, you upload score for them, and still your report card is not showing. All you need to do is click this button. Like I said earlier, I've been talking about this button since. All you need to do is just to click this button. You click on register subjects. This button is not for the subject that are here. This button is working for the subject that has been registered underneath from the back end, but are not showing on this page now. There are all these, you can't see all those subjects here. So that's what this button is working for. So click this button, then disapprove, log in as an HOS, disapprove and approve the broadsheet again, and your report card will come up. So that is all around that is it around the issue of report card not showing. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Precious. Right. So I guess we've exhausted our time for today's session. I don't know, Miss Lee, do we still have enough time?
I'm afraid we don't.
Okay.
We've exhausted it. We've gone past the limit. So
All right.
and we've also shared some links for the videos we promised that we're going to share. We've already shared the links in the comment section. We're also going to share
But
it
I don't think
again round.
the links are shared appropriately. You might want to check. Right.
Okay,
Because I was checking through
I'll do
too.
that rightly. I'll do that rightly. So we're also going to share that then, but please do well to check those videos and also take note of all of the corrections and the updates we also shared. And also kindly subscribe to the channel so you get notifications of every content that is being sent. so you will be notified earlier. So, from my end, Mr. Akinde, do you have anything to tell us before we round up, please?
Yeah, well, I like Mr. Quincy just shared right now. I know we might not be able to attend to all questions, right? But definitely, we're still going to be having another session for this coming Thursday. So pile up your questions. We'll be having another session for Thursday. At the same time as well, please ensure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Immediately after this session, we'll be sharing all these various demo videos that have been prepared. So you can go through them and also check through them as appropriate as well. So on this thing, I want to say thank you so much. Well, thank you to Christy, thank you to Precious, and also very importantly, thank you to the amazing participant that we have also that joined us today. And thank you so much, everybody. We look forward to an amazing session for next Thursday, right? Thank you.
All right. So, Precious, do you have anything to tell us before we leave?
Nothing for now. I just want to say thank you for everyone for joining us for today's session. Please, we hope to see you again next session, and let's have a good time like this together. Thank you. God bless you all. Amen.
Thank you so much once again
Okay.
for joining us. So, on this note, we say till Thursday, we would all see, and please compile your questions. We'll be willing and ready to take them all. So, please do have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Good night.
Bye. All right. Thank you so much.